So let's get started with Unreal Engine. And in this lesson, we'll learn about the interface of Unreal Engine. Plus, we'll see how we can navigate, how we can create shapes and geometry, and what is the difference between shapes and geometry. Also, we'll see how we can take high resolution snapshot. So without further ado, let's start it. And we can go here to the games. And in the games, as we are not going to create any game, we are just working on cinematic. So we will go to the blank, okay? And we'll make sure that we have ray tracing on so we can have a good quality work. Plus, you can have a starter content or you can disable it. But if you need something to start with, so you can keep it selected. So for this lesson, I don't think I need anything like already created or pre-made items. We will work on our own. So I will uncheck this one. Otherwise, if you want to practice on something, you can keep it open. Now, you can rename your project, like for example, lesson 2. Okay, make sure the blank is selected here, and then we can create. Now, the reason we turned on ray tracing, because ray tracing will give you high quality light and shadow effects. If it is turned off, so Unreal Engine will be using its own software based light setup, which is not that good. It's a low quality. However, if your computer is slow and cannot handle high quality shadows and light effects, you can keep the ray tracing off. Ray tracing usually works with the Lumen. Lumen is a new rendering method that Unreal Engine uses. And Lumen basically gives you a very high quality like lighting effect, shadow effect, and rendering, you can say like hyperrealism. So that's why I prefer, if you have a really good computer, so you can work with the Lumen and the ray tracing so that your quality of light and shadows and the rendering itself is will be good and will be more high quality. So we are almost there. It's loading up. Okay. So here we have our Unreal Engine load up, and it's giving us some options here to manage the plugins, but I will just ignore them. And here I have some window opened. I'm not sure what it is, but I'll just close it out. Now, this screen that you will see on your here is basically the main project. It's a blank, you can say a kind of a world here, okay, and which is created from patches if you click on it. But we are not going to work on it because this is our main level. As Unreal Engine is a gaming software, so we work on levels. Just like in Adobe Animate, we works on scenes. In Adobe Illustrator, we works on artboards. In Photoshop, we work on desktop. Okay. In Maya or Autodesk, like 3D Studio Max, we work on documents itself also. So here we work on level. Now here you will see I have a place actor option, but the place actor option might not be visible on your screen. You might see something like this. So place actor is a you can say a shortcut window to drag and drop things here. So what you can do is that you can go to window option here and turn on the place actors. Now, this way you can easily drag and drop any shape, geometry, light on your screen. So I prefer to open this, like the first thing that you do is to open this up. And this will be docked forever. So that means like no matter what project you will start, it will be always there. Now, on the top, we have application menu here. We have files to open, new level, open assets. We have for the edit, just like we have in all the other applications. And as we will go through our course, we will go through these options. We will not take a look on all of them because you don't have to know all of them. You are cinematic. If you're working on cinematics, if you are a visual designer, visual product designer, or architecture visualizer or product visualizer, or you are an animator, or if you are working on cinematics only, then you don't need to know each and everything, because Unreal Engine is used for various purposes, and we will stick to cinematics here, or product visualization, or you can say sometimes like architecture visualization. So the only thing that I turned on is from the window is this place actor option. Now, if you will see how we navigate here, let's see how we can navigate. To navigate, you need to press Alt on your keyboard if you're using PC, or Option on your keyboard if you're using Mac, and then if you press right mouse button, you can zoom in and zoom out, just like you can see on my screen. I'm doing that. Also, with the same Alt or Option, you can press left mouse button and you can orbit around. Okay, just like you can see it on the screen. Plus, if you press Alt and Option on your keyboard, you can press the middle mouse button and you can simply pan around. But panning here is not same as Maya. The zooming and the orbiting is same as Maya, but panning is opposite. Means like if I move up, the scene goes down. If I move my mouse down, the scene goes up. Now, how to fix this? How to make the whole navigation work like Maya? So simply what you need to do is that you have to go to the edit. You have to go to edit preferences. Once it is loaded, you can type here Invert. And in the search, when you type here Invert, it will give you Invert controls. And here what you need to do is that Invert middle mouse button, you have to just check on it. And then if I press Alt on my mouse or on my keyboard, or Option on my keyboard and middle mouse button, now it is working same as Maya. So this is how you can navigate and control your navigation. Let me show you how we can navigate in another way. What else you can do is that you can right click on your mouse, and then you can use the AWSD keys, the one that we use for gaming actually. So A will move it to the right side, D will move it to the left side, or W will move you forward, S will move you backward. Okay. And because your right mouse button will be always clicked, so you can move around just like what you do in the gaming. Q key will move you down, E will move you up. Okay, so this is how it actually is worked here, just like you are playing a video game actually. So if you're familiar with video gaming keys, so this is how you can actually work with this. Now, keep in mind that you can model inside Unreal Engine, but it's not recommended because it is not a modeling application. It is basically a game design and cinematics application. So we will be modeling in any third-party application like 3D Studio Max, Maya, or Adobe Substance 3D Modeler, and then we can texture it in Substance Painter and Designer, and then we can bring it here inside our Unreal Engine. However, we can make simple shapes. To make simple shapes, you will see here there is shape option here, and you have here cube. If I drag the cube onto my plane here, like somewhere here, okay, it's tiny bit here because I have to zoom it, but I have to zoom in a lot. So the shortcut is if I press F on my keyboard, F for focus. So if I press F on my keyboard, it will directly zoom to that selected object. Now I can move it up. It's in the air. So what I can do is that on my keyboard, I can press the end key, END, end. If I press end on my keyboard, it will put it on the floor just like this. Okay, pretty easy. And I can drag as many objects I want, and I can press end to put them down. I can delete them by pressing the delete button. I can put different other options like other shapes, press end to put them down. I can have a cone also, put this up and press end. So this I can put all these items on my screen. Now the question is how we can control them, how we can move them around. To move them around, we have these options on the top. You can see here moving. The shortcut is W on your keyboard. Okay, so you can press W or you can just go here and click on it. This one is rotate. You can press E on your keyboard so that it will turn into rotation. So I can rotate it the way I want it. And then here I have R for move. So I can click over here or press R. So I can scale it up with the like directions that are mentioned here. Okay, or in the middle so it can go all the way. Apart from that, I have here the orientation of the gizmo. Right now, the gizmo orientation, let me rotate it a little bit here. Now, the orientation here, if you will notice, is the world orientation. So that means the gizmo is taking the coordinates of the world. But if I will go here and click on it, so now I'm on the local like coordinates, local gizmo of the object itself. So the gizmo is in the direction of the object. Okay, so sometimes you need to switch like between these. So that's how you can do that. Okay, and you have you can say more like you have a shortcut for that. Okay, so it's if you hover over here, so it will give you the shortcut. Okay, it says like space, control, and the apostrophes. So that's how it goes. But I prefer just going that because the shortcut is quite confusing. Okay, here is control how object snaps to the surface. This is for the snapping, more like surface options. So I can click on the surface snapping. Okay. And let's click over here. And if I move it down, so you can see it is snapping to the surface basically. Okay. So this is how things usually works here. Okay. Apart from that, let me to turn this off. I have here like snapping for movement. If you will notice that if I'm moving any object, it's kind of snapping. It's not going smoother, and the snapping is basically like a 10 point or like more like pixel snapping. I can increase that or I can decrease it. So if you go here, so you have like grid size 1, so or like 1000. So if I go move with this, so it will snap. I have to be far away so that it will snap each 1000 pixel. Okay, so if I will go quite lower, like, oops, let me select this here. If I go to 1, okay, so now if I will start moving it out, it will be quite more, you can say, smoother. I will keep it 10, but if you want to turn it off, if you want to move your object smoothly, you can turn this off. And now you can see there is no snapping on it. Similarly, with the rotation angle, if I'm rotating anything, let me make it local. Okay. So it's the same thing, snapping every 10 angle. Okay. So that you can see that. And then if you don't want that, you can turn off the snapping and you can snap and you can rotate it without snapping. So this is how what you can do. Other than that, I have snapping for the scale, which is if I scale it up, you can see it is snapping 0.25 pixels, but I can change it or I can turn it off. Now, if I will change the size, you can see that it's quite smoother. Now, I will turn it off here. Plus, if you will see my when I'm moving my camera around, just like in Maya, I can do that. And if you want to speed up your camera, you can decrease the speed here. Okay. And you can see it's quite slow now, the movement. If I increase the speed, okay, so it will be quite fast. You can see it's very fast. I cannot even control the way it is. Okay, so depending on whatever speed you want. Now here you will see a button, okay, that will maximize or minimize your viewport. If you click on it, you can see your back, right, top, which you can change it to anything else by clicking here. You can make this one bottom, okay, just like in 3D Studio Max you have. This can be right, this can be maybe front, okay. So totally up to you what you want to change in your scene basically here, okay. So now don't worry about these icons which were appearing before. Those were the lights icons, so don't worry about that. We will go in detail. If you want to move around in your orthographic viewports here, you can press right mouse button, you can pan around, or scroll wheel to zoom in and zoom out, okay. But I just want to go and maximize this back, okay. So this is how you will get that. Now, apart from these tools, we have some other tools here. This is the viewport options, and there are a lot of options, but we will not go through all of them like today, but maybe in our next class we will go through on them, through them. This is what I showed you before, that we have different viewports here. Like suppose if you don't want to switch to quadratic viewport, you can go through single viewports, like if you want to see the front, the top, or the perspective here. Plus we have cinematic viewport here, which will show you how it will look like when you are working on the scene itself. It hides few of the icons or symbols just to show you how the scene will look like. Okay, so let's go to back viewer. Next here we have the viewport option, like suppose view modes here. Now view modes, currently we are in lit, that means we can see the lights. We can go to the unlit, where we don't see the light, but we see the objects with their textures on it. We have wireframe, we have detail lighting, okay, we have here lighting only, and different other options. But for now, we will just stick to lit, okay. And here we have show option, which will hide or unhide the symbols, the icons on your screen here, okay. Now, one more thing is you can, if you quickly don't want to see some symbols or icons on your screen, okay, some guidelines on your screen, because sometimes it shows. So what you can do, you can press G on your keyboard, G for game. So what does the G do is that if you press G on your keyboard, you will be out of the gaming mode. So you will not see any kind of symbol, and this will create a very nice looking shot for you. And if you're satisfied, you can go here to your viewport options. You can go to high resolution screenshot. When you click on it, it will take a screenshot of it. So right now I am like my screenshot size multiplier is 1. If you want to increase the size, you can double it up like 2 or 4 and keep on doing that, but I will keep it as 1. Once I will press capture, it will put this in this folder, okay. Usually it would inside your folder that you have, like in your project folder that you created. If you remember, when we created our project, we named it lesson 2. So actually it goes to your Unreal Engine in the documents window, wherever you have installed Unreal Engine. Like suppose in my document window, I have here Unreal Engine project. I can go here and I will find which project we are working on. We were working on lesson 2. Here it is. Inside lesson 2, I have saved folder. Inside saved folder, I have screenshots and Windows Editor. And here is the screenshot that we just took. Okay. So this is how we get the screenshot. This is basically your rendered object, because Unreal Engine uses Lumen technology, ray trace technology, and it renders on real-time basis. It doesn't render just like in Maya or Autodesk. However, if you turn on the path tracing, because path tracing is another renderer which is different than the Lumen, then it renders like in Maya or in 3D Studio Max, but we'll stick to what we have right now. Okay, so that's how you will get the screenshot. Now here on your right side, this is basically, you can say, your like outliner, just like in the Maya we have, just like in the 3D Studio Max we have. Whatever we create here is inside your outliners, basically like an asset panel. So whatever you have on your screen, you can see that I have already these items here. Okay, you can collapse, uncollapse them. Some you can create folders. Okay, so maybe these, the one that I just created, are basically, I can select them all with the shift key on my keyboard, and you can see it is selected here. I can put them in a folder by just clicking on them, and then just clicking on the folder, and it will make a folder and put all of them there, and I can rename it to shapes. Now later on I can hide or unhide this folder. Better to organize in this way. Now when you select any object from here, any light from here, anything on your viewport, its details, its settings shows here, like location, what is the location of it. You can reset the location. Rotation, what is its rotation. Suppose I don't like this rotation, I can reset it by clicking here. And then we have some other options here like materials and everything, which we will discuss in detail in our next lessons here. So this is how we can create shapes. Let's do one thing here. Let's just zoom it out a little bit, and here I have the geometry. Now I can go to the geometry. Now geometry kind of looks like it's more like shape, but it's but through geometry you can create more shapes actually. For example, if I bring the geometry like this box here, okay, you can see that unlike shapes, it do not have a texture on it yet, because you have to create a texture on it later on. Okay, so let me go inside the gaming mode again by pressing, I have to come out of the gaming mode, so I will press G here so that I can see all the symbols and everything. Okay, only for the rendering stuff I have to be in the gaming mode, otherwise I have to be out of the gaming mode. Now I will turn it off here, the gaming mode, and now I will make another one here. Like suppose I will create this one, scale it down, a little bit, not that much. Let me turn off the scaling snap and the moving snap, so it doesn't create anything here. Okay, so let's zoom in, rotate it to 90 degrees. Okay, and if you see, the cylinder is quite, you can say, more like low quality. So what you can do is that you can just change the quality of it from it's kind of set like from the settings here. Like I can increase the sides so it will become more smoother. Okay, but it's too much, so maybe 20. I can type here 20. That's fine. Okay, now what I can do, I can just put this kind of here. Okay, now these two are separate geometries, but in case I want them to be single one, so I can select them. Okay, and then I can go to the advanced option here in the details and create static mesh. Now what it will do is that once I will do it, it will ask me where to save that. So like in which folder, I will just save it in this content folder, keep it same name and create. And then you can see it is now a one shape. Okay, let's undo that and do a little different way. Now, what if I want to subtract this cylinder from this box? So what I can do is that I can select the cylinder here, okay, and then in the advanced option, I can go here, and then you can see that I have different options here. to clean geometry materials and all those things. But the one that I'm interested in right now is, let me go here, yeah, down in the brush settings. Basically, these geometries are also known as the brushes. So if I will go in the brush settings, you will see that I have here brush type additive. If I will make it subtractive, so it will act like it's a kind of a cutter, which is cutting it out. So if I push it more in, okay, and you can see I can now see through the the geometry itself. Okay, so that's how I can work on this one. Let's push it in. One more thing in the geometry, what you can do is that you can, if I click on these faces, you can see these faces are selected separately, and I can apply different materials on each face. Okay, and if which we will learn in our material class. However, here I can only apply one material on the whole object itself, but here on different faces I can apply whatever material I want. But right now I'm still in the geometric option. I can still edit it, whatever I want to do. But if I want to convert this into like a static mesh, like what I have here, then I have to select both of these, the box and the cylinder. Okay, and then the same way I did it before, I can go in the brushes here. Let's see where it is. Here, oh sorry, actor. No, not actor. Yeah, here in the brush settings, in the advanced, and then if I click on the create static mesh, so I'll choose whatever folder I want. I will choose this folder and create a static mesh, and then this is now static mesh. But now I cannot work on it like I was just working, because it has become a static mesh. Now I cannot apply any material on each face. I cannot subtract or add any other geometry on it. It has become now a flat surface. It's like a static mesh. So it's acting like this mesh, and it's not acting like a geometry anymore. So this is how you can create geometries and like static meshes. Now, apart from that, we have here down content drawer, output log, and command. So we will not work on these two, but our main interest is in the content drawer. What is this? This is the highly used like option here. If you remember, I was creating these like geometries, and when it was asking, and when I was converting them to static meshes, it was asking me where it was asking me where to save them. So I chose this content folder and it saved it. What is this? Basically, this is the folder that you usually get in your files, like when you create a project. So if you go in your project, Unreal Engine project, the lesson 2 project that you have created, all these are basically from this content drawer. So this will help you to keep everything organized, and this is highly used one. So basically, this is like a drawer, and whatever you have in the drawer, you can drag and put them here, then it will appear in the outliner. So basically, it's like your file explorer, which is coming through here. Let me go back here. Okay. Your Unreal Engine projects and your like lesson 2 project. So this is like the Explorer, which is like kind of coming from here and mainly from the content itself. Okay. Usually also sometimes ask you to like auto save it. So that's good thing. Now inside the content, you cannot delete the content itself, otherwise the whole project will delete. But inside the content, if you want to create a folder, like suppose I will right click it here, make a new folder, and I will call like meshes. Okay. And then what I can do, I can go to the content. I can take these two meshes with the shift key. I can select both of them. These same folders, okay, are inside the content. So I'm also in the content. So it is showing me the folders here also and the content itself. So I can take this one, put that inside this, move it here. Okay. So then it will move it inside and some other, and then you can create more other stuff by right clicking here. Like you can make a material, you can create a blueprint, you can create different other options. Everything that you do to create, you do it here inside your content drawer. Like suppose, just to show you around, if I right click it here, I can import items here. I can add different features, support this like started feature, like startup files that we usually skip sometimes, that you can bring it here. And then blueprint, levels, we can create different levels, materials, animation stuff. So all this we will go into details in our next lessons, but just to show you around, this is like highly important draw here. Okay, so I hope you have learned from this, like getting started with Unreal Engine lesson 2. So
If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do it now and don't forget to hit the bell icon. By the way, I have noticed that many of you are watching my videos without subscribing. So let's change that. Subscribe to my channel and be the part of the interactive community. Now, here's something really important I want to talk about. Please do not download my videos. Just watch them online. When you download them, it messes up my watch time hours. And that's a bummer. I want to keep creating awesome videos, but it's demotivating when I lose out on those stats. Thanks a bunch for your support. You guys rock. Catch you all in the next video.